Hey, this is Angelina Love, one half of TNA's Beautiful People, and this is my story. I basically was a manager slash ballet for about a year when I started, and then I got really bored, and I was always sitting ringside, and I was like, I really want to get involved, like I really want to do this, and I've always been really athletic, and I've always wanted to try wrestling. So I went to Squared Circle in Toronto, where Tracy Brooks trained and Gail Kim trained as well. And we all trained together, and then I started wrestling shows and did a lot of shows around Canada, and basically you have to branch out to the States, you have to get noticed and to get more publicity and to get more shows and more bookings and all that stuff, you gotta go over. And I started doing a lot of shows in the States, and I was working 2 jobs back home in Toronto, and all I wanted to do was wrestle. I hated sitting in an office, and I hated just everything that I was doing because I just wanted to wrestle and just live off wrestling, and that's all I wanted to do. So I moved to the States in February 2004. I quit both my jobs and I moved to the States, and I started wrestling, and I was actually living off of it for a few months, luckily. and then I did some stuff with TNA. I was living in Huntsville, Alabama at the time with a couple friends, and I would drive, every Wednesday was when they were still doing it in Nashville, and I would drive back and forth between Nashville and Huntsville and go there, and I was there every week. I didn't get used every week, but I was there every week. I guess in a way it's tougher for girls because it's a male-dominated business. Obviously, it's 90 to 95% men, and then women. Sometimes it's different for girls. Sometimes you're very babied into the business, and you don't really have to have a lot of knowledge. And people are like, "She's hot, let's use her." Or sometimes you're working your butt off, and you're doing everything you can, and you're sleeping at frozen rest stops, and you're traveling 14 hours, and you're getting paid crap and stuff like that. I've been there, done all that. You really have to prove yourself in this business when you're a woman, because I take what I do very seriously. I'm very professional, and I put like everything into what I do, and I don't settle for anything less than what I can get as close to perfection as possible, because I'm a perfectionist in a business where you can't be perfect. So I'm always fighting with myself, but women just have to prove themselves to be like, I can do what men can do. I can try to do it better. To be told that you wrestle like a guy is like a gigantic compliment. Really the reason that I got into wrestling was Shawn Michaels. I was the biggest Shawn Michaels fan ever, and I used to tape everything. Even if it was the same show that was replayed 4 times a week, I would tape it all and I would watch it all. And I wanted to be like the female Shawn Michaels. I remember when I was 13 years old, sitting in my basement watching wrestling, and I used to pretend like I was his manager, and I was ridiculous. No wonder my parents thought there was something wrong with me, but he was definitely my biggest inspiration, Shawn Michaels. I think the fans have really been dying to see girls who can actually wrestle. Like a lot of times all the girls look the same, and they're coming from a modeling company, and they don't really know anything about the business. And the really, really, really cool thing about TNA and the Knockouts is every girl here has like an independent background. Every girl had a history in this business before we all came together here. All of us have different looks. All of us have different characters. All of us have a different style of wrestling. So we each bring something different to the table, and the fans are just eating it up. I think they love it.